Hello dear students. In the previous video we talked about balanced and unbalanced force and the basics of friction. In this video we'll talk about first law of motion, which was derived by Galileo. Okay, so here the by observing the motion of objects on an inclined plane, Galileo deduced that objects move with a constant speed when no force acts on them. So, while he was observing the motion of objects in an inclined plane, he concluded or deduced that objects move with a constant speed when no force acts on them. See, in an inclined plane, whenever the object was moving, it moves in a constant plane. Okay, it was his deduction. He observed that when a marble rolls down in an inclined plane, its velocity increases. So here this is a ball, this is an inclined plane. When this ball rolls down in an inclined plane, gradually the speed or the velocity of the ball will increase. In the next chapter, you will learn that the marble falls under the unbalanced force of gravity as it rolls down and attains the definite velocity by the time it reaches the bottom. So about this line we will deal with the next chapter, this much. Okay, so we don't need to worry about this one right now. Its velocity decreases when it climbs up as shown in the figure. So what he concluded that this is these are two inclined plane. One is in the downward direction, one is in the upward direction. When this piece of ball or this marble, when it moves down, the speed increases, the velocity increases. But while it moves in the upward direction, the velocity gradually decreases. The speed gradually decreases. Okay. So its velocity decreases when it climbs up. So figure 9.5c shows a marble resting on an ideal frictionless plane inclined on both sides. So here you can see this is the picture. So here in the left side, that is in the declined plane, it is constant. These are there are four different planes, inclined planes. First one is this one. This is the angle of inclination with respect to horizontal axis. This is second angle of inclination for the second plane. This is third angle of inclination for the third plane, and this one here the angle becomes 0 because the plane on which the ball is moving and the horizontal axis or the ground both are same. Here what he suggested that what he did that he kept this angle of declination constant, and he took four different planes having different angle of inclinations. Okay, and he did his experiment. What was his experiment? Let's see. So Galileo argued that when the marble is released from the left, it would roll down the slope and go up on the opposite side to the same height from which it was released. So he argued that if the angle of declination and the angle of inclination is same, we can understand this one in this picture. Here the angle of declination, this one, and angle of inclination, this one, both are same. If these angles are same, then this ball, so the height from which the ball is rolling down, this height, when it will move in the upward direction, same height should be attained. Okay, it should come till this point. Okay. So if the inclination of the plane on the both sides are equal, then the marble will climb the same distance that it covered while rolling down. If the angle of inclination on the right side plane were gradually decreased, then the marble will travel further distance till it reaches the original height. So what is the meaning of this one? See, you can see here. Here, this angle of declination and this angle of inclination are same. Now, here, from here to this point, if you calculate this one, this is the horizontal distance traveled by the ball, and here this is the horizontal distance traveled by the ball. this much. Okay, from here to here. Now both of these are same in case of seeing a same angle of inclination. Now when the angle of inclination is decreased by little bit, here in this case, this is 1, this is 2. Angle of inclination of 2 is less than angle of inclination of 1. So here, but the ball has to attain the same height. This height should be same. This height should be same. So to attain this height, it has to travel more horizontal distance. This distance. Horizontal distance should be more. Similarly, again if you decrease the angle of inclination in the third case, it has to travel the same height, same vertical height, so that the horizontal distance which is traveled by the ball is also will increase. Again, if you keep on decreasing the angle of inclination, the vertical height traveled by the ball will remain same, but the horizontal height traveled by the ball will keep on increasing theoretically. Now, if this angle of inclination becomes 0, that means this line, then this ball will never going to get a point where its vertical height will be equal to this much height. That means the ball will roll down forever. Okay, so this is the theoretical conclusion. But practically what happens, actually what happens when you roll down a ball from certain height, it comes and in this ground it rolls down till certain distance, then it stops. So there has to be some force which is opposing the motion of the ball. Okay, see, if there is no such force, that means the ball will supposed to roll down from here. It should come at this point, and it will keep on moving in this direction till it reaches this height. As it will not reach this height, it will keep on moving till infinity. Okay, but practically what happens? The ball is rolling down from here, it reaches here at this point, and after traveling certain distance it comes to rest position. That means the energy which was possessed by the ball is being resisted, so there has to be some other force which is applied in the opposite direction that makes the motion of the ball stop. Okay, so if the if the right side plane were ultimately made horizontal, the marble would continue to travel forever, trying to reach the same height that was released from. The unbalanced force on the marble in this case are zero. So if you consider the unbalanced force becomes zero, so this is what happens. Thus, it thus suggests that an unbalanced or external force is required to change the motion of the marble, but no net force is needed to sustain the uniform motion of the marble. In practical situation, it is difficult to achieve zero unbalanced force. As I told you, practically what happens, the ball will continue rolling for a certain distance. It is not practically not possible that the ball will roll down for infinite period of time. This is to this is because of the presence of frictional force. As I told you that the force that opposes the motion of the ball is known as frictional force, and the frictional force comes into picture due to the contact between the ball and the ground on which the ball is rolling down. So frictional force acting opposite to the direction of motion. Thus, in practice, the marble stops after traveling some distance. The effect of the frictional force may be minimized by using a smooth marble and the smooth plane and providing a lubricant on the top of the plane. Here what happens, you cannot make the ball travel up to infinite distance, but yes, the distance which is the horizontal distance which is covered by the ball can be maximized or can be increased by keeping the ground uh, lubricated, or by smoothing the ground or the marble or the ball. Okay, if you polish the surface of the ground and polish the surface of the ball, then the distance traveled by the ball will increase. If you provide lubricant here, what does lubricant do? Lubricant reduces the effect of the friction. Okay, as provide lubricant is provided, the effect of friction is reduced. So here in this case, the distance traveled by the ball will be little bit increased, but it will not be increased till infinity. Newton further studied Galileo's idea on force and motion and represented three fundamental laws that govern the motion of the object. That means the laws of motion were initially started by Galileo, but it was modified by Newton and he represented the three fundamental laws of motion. These three laws are known as Newton's laws of motion. The first law of the motion stated as, this is very important, an object remains in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless compelled to change the state by an applied force. So this is one of the examples. What it is trying to tell you is an object remains in a state of rest. That means if an object is at rest position, it will be in the rest position, or if an object is moving, that if an object is moving with an uniform motion in a straight line, it will remain in motion in the straight line unless, that is, this is the condition, unless compelled to change the state by an applied force. That means if an object is at rest position, it will remain in the rest position. If an object is in motion, it will remain in the motion in a straight line unless an external force is applied to the object which will make the motion of the body stop. Okay. In other words, all objects resist a change in their state of motion in a qualitative way. The tendency of undistributed object to stay at rest to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. This is very important. What is inertia? Okay, this word is very important. So let me tell you this one again. In other words, all objects resist a change in their state of motion. That means if an object is at rest position, the object itself will try to be in the rest position. If the object is moving, the object itself will try to be in motion. Okay. In a qualitative way, the tendency of undisturbed object to stay at rest or to keep in moving with the same velocity is called inertia. So inertia is the property of an object by virtue of which it will try to remain in its state of motion. If an object is moving, it will keep on moving, it will try to be in motion. If an object is at rest position, it will try to be in rest position. So this property of the object is known as inertia. Okay, this is why first law of motion is known as law of inertia. So this is very important statement. In our exam, this question might come, that why does the first law of motion is known as the law of inertia. Okay. Now, certain experiences that were come across while traveling in a motor car can be explained on the basis of law of inertia. We tend to remain at rest with respect to the seat until the driver applies brake to stop the motor car. With the application of brake, the car slows down, but our body tends to continue in the same state of motion because of inertia. So this is one of the example, this one. So here what happens, you might have felt that if you are standing on a bus, okay, if you are standing or sitting on a bus, suddenly brake is applied. So bus suddenly stops. But what happened? You little bit lean forward direction. Why? Because earlier the bus was moving with certain speed. As because you are sitting inside the bus, you are also moving with the certain speed. So brake is applied to the bus, not to you. As brake is applied to the bus stops. The velocity of the bus suddenly decreases. But as because the concept of inertia, you are moving with certain speed and your body is trying to keep on that speed. That is why you move little bit forward. Okay. Now this is the case of inertia. A sudden application of brakes may thus cause injury to us by impact or collision with the panels in front. Safety belts are worn to prevent such accidents. In car, it is highly advisable to wear safety belts, because what happens in car, suppose there is an accident happens, car is moving with certain speed, you are also moving with the car with that certain speed. Whenever accident happens, the car gets stuck there, but you lean yourself forward. So the safety belts helps you not to move, not to lean in the forward direction. It protects your body. Safety belts exert a force in our body to make the forward motion slower. An opposite experience is encountered when we are standing in a bus and the bus begins to move slowly. So, suppose you are standing on a bus and the bus begins to slowly, your body is at rest position, bus started its sudden movement. In that case, what happens? You lean little bit backward direction. Why? Because that is the state of your body at rest. That is the position of the body. When the bus will start moving, then you your body is trying to keep itself in that same position. Okay. Now we tend to fall backward. This is because the sudden start of the bus bring motion to the bus as well as to our feet in contact with the floor of the bus. But the rest of our body opposes the motion because of the inertia. Okay. When a motor car makes a sharp turn at a high speed, we tend to get thrown to one side. So, whenever you are sitting in a motor car or in a car, when it is taking a sharp turn, you might have felt that your body is trying to move, get your body is trying to move itself from out of the car. It is trying to move itself from a particular direction. Okay, that is, it is, you might have felt that you are being pulled by certain force which is trying to make you move away from the car. Okay, we tend to continue in our straight line motion when an unbalanced force is applied by the engine to change the direction of motion of the motor car. We slip in one side seat due to the inertia of the body. So all of these are the example of inertia. Okay. Here this is one of the example, you might have played this one. So these are some of the dots which are arranged in a column manner. So when this player strikes the striker comes with certain speed and strikes here. Here the first dot it moves away and rest of the dot will be there, will keep on remain here. So here what happens, the force which is applied on the first dot, due to this the first dot moves away and rest of the dot as they are in the rest position, they will try to be in the rest position and keep on remaining there. So this is the case of inertia of rest. Okay. So this is another activity. Okay. You can go through this book. Some activities are given. Okay. So in the next video, so we'll talk about inertia and mass. What is inertia we have covered in this video. So what is the relation between inertia and mass? We'll cover this one and then we will discuss some of these questions. Okay. Then then after that we'll talk about second law of motion. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day.